So I would like to show you how I did my recent song that I recorded in my bed. Of course, because as usual, I don't have time, and sometimes I get frustrated and I really need to do something, some art, some music, and so I created this project in AUM very quickly. I even didn't mix it properly because I really wanted to make it as quick as possible. So I don't know if you are going to learn something from this. I'm going to explain everything like if you were a beginner or something, because to be honest, when I was a beginner, I missed tutorials or walkthroughs the projects like this, so I'm gonna do this for you. And of course you can skip it because I'm going to put timestamps into the video, because I'm also going to show you besides the AUM project, I'm going to show you how I mastered it in Logic Pro and how I made the video in Lumafusion, so you can go through the video and find the parts that you are interested in. Yeah, so I hope that I didn't forget to say anything. But okay, so this is the project. I started with the drums because I originally just wanted to play with the drums. In the video, you can see that I had the mixer open because I was experimenting with something, but then I changed my mind. But in the video, it was pointless to have it there, so it would be better to show you that I use a little bit of reverb for my drums. Yeah, you should be able to hear it. Yeah, like this. Yeah, that's basically it. I used some samples that I downloaded, a long time ago. I actually don't use samples at all yet, like except for flip challenges. But I downloaded like 2 packs of drums a long time ago, and sometimes I use them. I wanted to how to say it, adjust the sounds a little, but as I was trying to be quick, I didn't do it much. So you see that I just I changed a little bit of pitch here because when I heard the kick drum, it sounded like out of tune to me to the rest, with the rest. But I just reversed something, and that was it. Yeah, I think that I EQ'd something as well. But as you can see, I forgot to equalize the kick drums, which I always do, like to tame the low end a little bit. I completely didn't do that because I just wanted to be quick. Yeah, so I created like 3 sequences here, and I set it up on snap sequence end because you can see that in the video. Yeah, oh, my goodness. Yeah, so it was very handy because, yeah, as you can see, because it really helped me to start the sequence where I wanted, in this case, because usually, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. And here I have the kick drum that served me for sidechaining. I think that it was this one. No, it's not, it's this one. So what I had to do was I had to send it to out 2, as you can see, and I created another bus, another channel. I forgot the names of it. I'm sorry. Yeah, channel. Yeah, it's written here, channel. And I needed to insert the multibus audio unit instance of Koala. You can see there is only one, so I pressed this and I got that. Now I'm going to remove it, but this is what I did, and as you can see, there is this number 2, so I knew that I needed to send it to out 2. Okay, that was it. And because and then I'm going to explain. Okay, I'm going to explain it now. Here I have the BLEASS compressor that I used for sidechaining. They also have an app for sidechaining that I don't use because I just am used to this, so I do it. And I also I always find the hard sidechain preset that helps me a lot, because almost anytime, I'm sorry, my English, almost never, I don't adjust the settings. I just mute the threshold, and this is how you create the ducking effect, like the pumping effect. Sometimes I also adjust the release because I want it to be longer or shorter, but otherwise I leave it the way it is, and it works well. I'm going to explain how to do that. It's very easy, even though I always forgot where to put what first. Usually I somehow do it correctly, but it's always difficult for me. And I'm gonna explain to you now, because it's gonna be easier maybe to take it like one by one. What I actually wanted to be ducked was these two synthesizers, the BLEASS Alpha and BLEASS Monolith synthesizers. I had to put them in another bus. I created bus B, as you can see here. It's bus B, and then, because it always goes like this, I needed to, or it like collects all the sounds and it sends it to the bus A, and here it's like it goes like this and this this way. So if I create a bus B, I also need to create like the stream. I see like like a river or something, that is attached to the bus A. So I needed to create another channel with the bus B input and to be sent into the bus A input output. So this is what I did. You can see it here pretty clearly. And then I put the compressor, the BLEASS compressor here. I set the hard sidechain, and that was all I did. And then I went back to here, to the kick drum. Usually I also name my channels to know where I am. But now here I was very quick, so I didn't do that. And I created again. I went to multi-bus audio unit instances and I chose the compressor. But you see here the problem that I have two. So which one is it? It's easy because I used another one here in the master bus, which I'm going to explain later. And because I wanted to use this one, I just checked the number 6 one here. So I went there, here, and I chose this one. Okay, this is it, and then it worked. So I'm gonna demonstrate right now. I'm gonna do solo. Here we go. I also, this is solo already. Okay, I'm also going to go to the sequence and so now you can hear. I'm going to shout a little bit because I think that you can't hear me well. Now you can hear what it does. And I also, because I used to do it the way that I just disabled the plugin, but it created an unnatural sound. Oh, now it works pretty well, but yeah, I didn't like it once, so I always do it like this, like gradually. Not always, but most of the time. So this is how you can create a sidechaining, and sometimes you can also sidechain like everything or whatever you want. And then what do we have here? I started with the BLEASS Samplewiz, which is one of my favorite tools. I just recorded a short phrase here, which you can hear. Yeah. And I added a little bit of effects, like a little bit of grain and turbulence and effects, just reverb, yeah. And I think that I didn't add anything else, yeah. And then I realized that I could move the speed here. I haven't worked with that before for some reason, but now I really liked that I could like prolong the syllables of the sentence. Oh, now I moved it the other way. I could leave it like that forever. Yeah, so that was pretty fun to play with, and I usually use it the way that I press the hold button here, and I already recorded it in the key in which the whole song was. So when I already have the key, I always press the C key because, you know, it doesn't correspond to the true tone key, but the key, the original key of the sample. So I press the C. Yeah, it would do this, which is something I didn't want to do. And that was it. This is very simple. I just, I'm sorry. I just had to put the microphone here and record it. Then I have the two synthesizers here. This is something that I, as a beginner, I didn't know how to do that. And I used Drambo. I would like to find another tool, but I still didn't have time to find some. So I still use Drambo, and I use it for the MIDI loops because I want the synthesizers to be played in loop, some melody, some chords, and I want to be able to adjust or modulate the sound while it's playing. So I don't want it to be audio, I want it to be in MIDI, because then it just sends the signals to the synthesizers and I can modulate the sound the way I want. I'm gonna also demonstrate it solo. For example, yeah, I have the motion here, so maybe I'm gonna, yeah, so you can hear, you can hear that I can't modulate the sound because I have the loop here, and it's just the information, it's just the MIDI information. And I'm going to, because it's my preset that I created, I think, yeah, so I'm going to reset it like this. And here I have only, a very simple thing. It's just one note, which I actually could make the way I did it in Samplewiz with the hold button here. I'm sorry, it's my husband. If you can hear something, it's my husband who is sick. And I can't mute him, unfortunately. Yeah, so I could have done it this way, but I didn't. I just used Drambo because I thought that I would do something more complicated, but I didn't eventually. Yeah, and now how I did it, okay? So what is important is this. You have to, I think that, yeah, you have to use another keyboard than the keyboards within the synthesizer. So I used this one because I made everything on iPad, only included the microphones. So you have to first, because this is what is controlling and this is what is controlled. So the keyboard is controlling the Drambo here, and then Drambo is controlling the synthesizers here. And now you can see that we have a problem, because when you play the keyboard, it means that both synthesizers would play. So you need to sort it out somehow. And this is how you do it. You have MIDI out 1, and then I recorded the other one into MIDI out 2 here. So I 1, 2, and then you have to use, I forgot how is it in English, channel filter. Yeah, you go to the app and go to this, you know, as my friend calls it, this little snake here, and you have to choose just the channel 1, okay, for the synthesizer 1, and for the other one you have to press the 2 here. So you select 1 for 1 and 2 for 2, and then you can switch between them. As you can see. Then I created a loop here. I just set the number of bars and the length that I wanted, and I recorded it. The way you record it is that you press the record button and then you hit the play. Now it's fine, because you know, sometimes you finish the bar like in the middle somewhere, but when you record a loop, it's good to go at the end, or at the beginning, or you know, at the end of the bar, of the sequence. And then I also like using the pre-roll in AUM here, for example, 1 bar, okay, and press. And also enable the metronome, because it's better using metronome when you record loops, whatever loops. But now I'm going to use this one because it's simpler. So I'm going to add something to it. I actually forgot what tone it was. It was this. Really? It's weird. Oh really? Okay, it's really this. It's in Czech, it's D sharp in English. We call it this. So D sharp. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna press record here, move to the and here we go. So now you saw that I added something, and here in the piano roll I can edit it the way I want. So now I just want to delete it. In alpha I used my own preset because I really enjoy creating my sounds in alpha. Alpha is great for that because it's pretty simple, and if you understand the oscillators and the waveforms, filters, or it seems quite simple to me. Of course it was difficult when I was new to it, but it helped me a lot to learn how synthesizers work, and I really enjoy playing with all the buttons and then saving the presets. I always go to all and go to default, and then I just play with all these things. You can yeah, with the arpeggiator, for example. And so on and so on. You can play like that. But now I'm going to return it to the mood one. Okay. Here I used the flatter bus, which is the preset in monolith, existing preset, and I liked that for this song, so I just used it and didn't change anything. I think that no. If I would, there would be a little star besides the name, which I did, which is not there, so I didn't do anything. Now we got to the vocal part. As you can see, I used the iPad microphone. My iPad, the iPad microphone is pretty cool and pretty good, and I'm so happy that I can use it for things as this song, like where I am just sitting in my bed, or when I'm traveling or something. The problem with this microphone is that there is quite a big hiss, so I used Bruce Free to remove it. Maybe I cannot show you because of, okay, you know what, maybe if I'm doing this I should probably show you. So I'm going to find my what is it, find my little thingy to plug it into it. Okay, so now we should be able to hear it. Yeah, so now you should hear me twice. You should probably also hear the hiss, which is more audible when you put some reverb on. And maybe you can't hear it, but if I'm going to use Bruce Free, you're gonna hear the difference, I bet. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. So I think that you could hear difference. So this is why I use it. Yeah. Yeah, and it's good that I actually took the headphones, because I can show you the rest without having the feedback. So this is the main vocal that I used. This is the one that I used for the loop, but I forgot to save the loop. I actually created like I usually use Loopy Pro in 4, because I create like some backing vocals and I pan it into the sides and stuff, but here I just one loop would be enough, because I use only one. And you could see me recording it. I just added a little bit of reverb here, and then you could see me at one point in the song that I decided to rise the mix to the 100, because it like melted the sound in the mix and it just disappeared, or like it went like far from us. It just dissolved somewhere in the background, and I like that. And then I placed the low pass filter here, because I wanted to sound like I actually found this word once and I forgot it now. What is it? Whatever. That it would sound muffled a little bit and even less noticeable. So I just moved it like that. I actually probably forgot to mention that I had the high pass filter here. Yeah, because maybe I'm also going to try to show you. I'm gonna disable this. Maybe it won't be that audible, but you can't hear it much, but it was like very much rumbling, and I needed to tame the low end a little bit because it would cause problems in the mix. And I used to use the BLEASS filter for these, but it requires too much resources. This one is a lot easier for the DSP, so it's better to use these for things like that. I forgot to show you how to add the low or a high pass filter in AUM. You do it the way that you open the menu, and then you go to filter and EQ here, and here you can select the filter type you need and control it this way. Then I have this channel here, and you could see me alternating, or just playing with these two presets, plugins. This one is EOS 2, my favorite reverb, and this one is BLEASS delay. I actually really like, for delays, I like Other Desert Cities, and I most of the time I use Other Desert Cities, but when I want the delay to be like a very clear ping-pong delay, it's better to use this one. I like the 1/2 thing here, and yeah, the ping-pong, it goes from the left to right and back and forth. So I use this one for things like this. And EOS 2 is also a great reverb. I also like the BLEASS one, but it's a little bit tricky to set it the way that it sounds nice. This one sounds nice like immediately. So this is, I usually use the EOS 2 one. Yeah, it's quite a lot of reverb, but without delay. This is the delay. This is I'm sorry. Now it's gonna go like forever. Yeah, I could have changed the feedback a little bit, lower, but it sounded pretty good in the mix eventually. And sometimes I combine it. Yeah, and what you could just hear is, this is something that I hate about plugins, that they remember what they took up from before. So when you disable them while performing, you have to remember that, because when you enable them again, there is this tail that is remembered. Yeah, so now it sounds really like melted, and it continues like forever. So it was pretty cool to play with them. And here you can see two other plugins. This one is de-esser. De-essing is pretty important because the sibilants that you are pronouncing can be pretty harsh and uncomfortable for the ears of the listeners. I use the tone boosters, sibilants, which is not bad, but also I always need to set the threshold in the range a little bit to the left, because otherwise it is exaggerated and it sounds like I am in Czech we say stepping on my own tongue. Like it doesn't sound well. It sounds like I just mispronounce it. So you have to, when you use the whatever de-esser, you have to find the sweet spot when it decreases the sibilant, but it doesn't make you sound like you are I don't know the word in English, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna maybe demonstrate it. Maybe because you can hear me from the microphone, so you probably won't hear it. I am going to try it here because I have the looper here, so I'm going to record. Record something. Know what I'm doing. Copy, select. Here, copy here. I'm going to record something here, like for example,
Balance.
Okay. Solo.
Balance. Sibilance, 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 sibilance.
Okay. I made a mistake here that I exaggerated the sibilance. So you can't hear the problem that much. But really, you have to be careful about that. And you could see also the reduction. You could see the reduction. Yeah. So this is how it works. And then I used the equalizer. Usually I equalize it, you know, especially with my iPad microphone. I always like cut the low end, and I also cut the frequencies around 640 or somewhere like that, because I already know that my voice in combination with this microphone creates like boxy frequencies in my voice. So I usually do that, you know, when I'm in a hurry. I don't even try to test it. I already know that this preset is good for my voice with this microphone. It also depends on the pitch of the singing, but you know, you cannot always predict, because I usually improvise completely, so I don't know. So this is how I do it usually, but here I was in a hurry. I didn't do that, so I just boosted the top end a little bit to make it sound clearer and airier. Usually I also put a compressor at the beginning of the chain, and these two should also be at the beginning, you know. So it's very good to have a compressor, especially when you sing live, because sometimes you sing very loud and sometimes you sing very quiet. The loud parts are the most problematic ones, because sometimes you can cause clipping, and having a compressor here could really help prevent this problem. But you know, I was in a hurry, and usually I put like compressor, equalizer, sibilance, yes, the de-esser, yeah, and this, yes, yeah. Sometimes I put it in a different order as I think about it logically, but yeah, whatever. It worked fine, I think, pretty much. The last one is the master buzz. Where I usually just put a little bit of compression here, which is, I do it quite like, you know, this is not a good example because I don't know.
Sibilance,
Can I? Oh, okay, sometimes this happens. You know what? Let's just restart it. If this happens, this usually helps. Now we should have everything in place. So you can see that because this is independent on the play button, you see that if I play it, that I just like cut the, you know, it would be a lot better to use, for example, the fat filter compressor to understand what I did. But this is very important. I forgot to say that. So I basically placed the threshold somewhere, you know, like you can imagine, like this is the These are the peaks, and I just placed it somewhere, like I didn't want it to be too compressed, but a little bit, just, you know. So this place here is actually this place here. So yeah, this is not as visual as the Pro C1, but you know what I mean. And the reason why I don't use the Pro C1 is that the FAB filter plugins are very you know, they are causing latency, because I just forgot the word again. They overload the device, like the DSP rises very high, and then, you know, when you are doing live performance or live looping, it causes major problems, because it is all delayed a little bit, and it's very hard for you to sing along with it and stuff. So this is why I don't use FAB filter plugins for live performances. I use BLEASS, you know, BLEASS plugins, and also the tone boosters plugins. These don't cause problems to me, like I think that almost at all. Yeah, at all. So this is what I really recommend. This one is a barricade, the tone boosters barricade, which is a limiter, and it helps me control the volume level and the master bus. As you can see, I don't have the volumes on individual channels, you know, the gain on individual channels at 0. I gain stage it a little bit, like I usually start at -6, and here you can see that I went even lower, because it's good for you to when you have something too loud, it's always better to lower the other things than to make it louder. And definitely don't go over 0, because it would cause clipping and problems. So this one helps me control the overall volume, and to make, you know, this is to make sure that I am not clipping, I'm not too loud. Maybe here it's a little bit too loud. I think that in the song I had it even lower, so it really helps me to not to clip. And if I am too loud, it reduces the volume, so it makes me safe, because, you know, it's a lot harder to mix things live than, you know, than in post-production. So you just, you know, what is really important for you to make it, you know, it's a lot better to make it quieter than to clip, because you cannot do anything with the clipping afterwards. So I hope that I didn't forget about anything. This is how I did this project. It's actually pretty simple, I think. It, you know, it may look like it's not, but if you understand the basic principles, it actually is. So yeah, I really like AUM for that, because it's so intuitive, and I really recommend you. It's, you know, it's even better when you name the channel. You can actually put an emoji in it when you need to get oriented very quickly in the project. You can put an emoji, and you have a very visual. There are also some bookmarks, but I don't use them. For me, it's better to use these. So it's just a tip from me when you need. Yeah. So now I'm going to show you how I mastered the track. Again, it was very quickly done. Why? What's the issue? Okay, I think that I'm running out of memory storage. I hope that this video is going to record and save. Okay, here we go. This is the recording from the master bus, you can see that I actually didn't have much of the compression there happening, because you can see a lot of differences, but there is no clipping occurring, which is good. So I loaded the recording in here, and then I just used the mastering assistant on default. It's pretty cool, it works fine. I used to use like Pro MB and equalization and all kind of stuff to make it sound the way I wanted. But then when this mastering assistant was released, I found it very handy, and it also taught me how to listen to my mix better. You know, because I thought that my mix was fine or my mastering was fine, and then I used this mastering assistant and I heard, oh my goodness, this sounds a lot better than before, but I didn't realize it. So I felt a little bit weird about it, because I thought that it was like cheating that I used this tool. But then I learned that, you know, and I also realized that this is something that is just a normal part of some, you know, technological development. And you still have to have good ears. Sometimes I equalize it myself a little bit, and even when with the mastering assistant. And I also maybe I probably, because I haven't watched any tutorial yet, because I'm horrible at this, you know, I often want to have everything done quickly, and so I don't bother with tutorials, and then, you know, whatever. So I'm not sure if I'm not doing it correctly, but I didn't find a way how to, because you know, my mix was very quiet with the mastering assistant. So I also used the compressor and limiter to control my volume. Please. Maybe this is completely wrong, okay? So read the manual. I haven't done it yet. I'm just showing you how I did it. I'm so sorry about that. Maybe I should, yeah. Oh, that was very loud. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's just, yeah. Okay. Okay, so, because I moved it to the loudest part, and I set the compressor the way it compresses it a little bit. And in Pro L, which is also the limiter, you know, the barricade that I used before, it was also a limiter. The Pro L is, for me, I think it's better. I can control the overall volume. And I always want it to be reduced just a little bit. So when I moved it to the loudest part, you can see how much reduction I allowed to be happening. And then, you know, oh my, I just compared these two, you know, parts, and I saw that, okay, I see that the loudness is a lot higher here. So it what's the word? I forgot the word. He just made it louder when it was too quiet and quieter when it was too loud, and I could see it here even without seeing the waveform, the whole waveform. I can see it here. You can see the difference. It's okay, because I don't want it to be like completely flat. Yeah, but you can see that the differences are not that big. So using limiter, yeah, and you see that I added the gain here, because the original loudness was somewhere about here, and then somewhere around here. Maybe this is a little bit too much. Oh, come on. Yeah, so this is how I do it. And here is another thing that I forgot to tell you and show you, and that is that I set the Fat Filter Pro L limiter to -1 dB true peak, which you do here if you tap it, you know, this little wheel shows up, and you can set it like that, because this is what is required for most of the platforms, and it also keeps you safe from having it too loud. So I always set it to -1 dB true peak. I usually also use the equalizer to, yeah, but with the mastering assistant it's usually not so necessary. So this is just how I did it in here. And now the video. So for video like this, I usually use DaVinci Resolve on my desktop. It's a lot more comfortable to use the desktop instead of the iPad, but here I wanted to do it in my bed as well. So I used Lumafusion. So this is my original recording from my phone. This is what it looked like originally. I used some colored light, but then I decided for a black and white look because it corresponded to the lyrics. So I used a couple of effects here for that. What's very important, and maybe it's also me that I don't know how to do it correctly, is to load the video that is at the bottom, because you see that I have some overlay video here as first, because when I loaded this one as second, I wasn't able to swap them for some reason, and maybe there is a way, but it will save you a lot of frustration and finding a tutorial and a manual, you know. So just load this one first and then load the overlay as second. I created the screen recording, you know, I was screen recording while I was singing, and then I put all these things together. You see that I have this mastered song here, and you can also see the waveform, as I really managed to what's the word? I need to find it out. But I don't have the translator here anymore. You know what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna look it up after I finish the video. Okay, so no, I can't remember. Yeah, so then I put this video into the other track here, the screen recording, and the way I did it was that I always like when he like this, you know, to be very quick. Okay, I was always seeing what's happening. Okay, so I was like, okay, here I started doing something, so I cut it. Okay, you have to always have it selected like that. So I cut it with the scissors here, and I stopped doing here something, so I cut it. Oh, I started doing something here, cut it. I stopped doing here. I stopped doing something here. I cut it, and like this, I went through all the video, and I always deleted the parts that I didn't want to use straight away, because otherwise you would get lost in it. So this is how I did it, very roughly, and then I added the transitions. Which you do this way. You select the track, you hit the plus button here and hit the transition, and it added the transition automatically where you have the playhead. Okay, so if you want the transition to be really long, you do it this way, as you can see. Okay, so now I'm going to reset it, and then when I had the transitions done, I went, you know, I played the video and I went through it, and I adjusted the length of the clips the way I wanted, because when you hit the middle of the clip, you can move it this way, and adjust its length. You can also adjust the length of the transition. So you can see that I chose to make longer transitions somewhere because it looked nicer. For example, when there was a longer part where like nothing was happening, so I made the transition longer so that it would be more interesting, and so on and so on. Oh, come on. So what else should I tell you? Yeah, I also muted these two sounds because it was very important to record the screen recording with the sound and also the video with the sound. And then I aligned them, I synced them, all three tracks. Usually I find the place where I start singing, because the lip syncing and you know, the sound of the words help me sync the videos and the audio. Sometimes drums help. Also, when you have things like, for example, here, the sidechaining. Okay, it's very loud again, I'm sorry. Make sure that it corresponds to, it's really in sync, because sometimes when you sync it according to the lip sync or lips, it may be a little bit off, but you don't see it. But when you have the drums or something that is really like into the rhythm, it can be messed up and it doesn't look well. So always check the syncing at things like these and fix it. Yeah, so this is how I did that. And I think that that's it. Then you just export it in here and choose the settings. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I learned one thing here that was very, 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 very important to me, because, you know, I made the cutting and then I realized, oh my goodness, I'm so stupid, because I should have done like the opacity of the layer first here. You know, as you can see, it's transparent. And also the zoom, because the screen recording of the iPad is not 16:9. It's not 16:9. You know what I mean? Ratio. So it was like zoomed in. And then I thought, oh my goodness, I will have to go through every individual clip and do it manually. This is going to be horrible. And then I really wanted to learn how to do that, and I went for the tutorial. You know, even though I'm always so lazy to look it up, but I thought like, hey, if I'm going to learn this is going to help me in the future so much. So I found out how to do it. You have to you select this button, and then you can do the multi-selection this way, or also you can tap the individual clips, but this is a lot easier, obviously. And then you can add a preset onto your selection. So I had to create a preset, which I did the way that I just chose one clip, double tapped it, and here I adjusted the position, the zoom, you know, and also the blending, the opacity. And I created the preset by pressing this little star and named the preset, and then saved it by pressing this little star in the upper right corner here. I created a preset, and then I went back. I selected everything. Of course, it would be easier if you would do it the way as I said, like first you would set the opacity for the whole clip and the position and then cut it, but you know, when you do the mistake like as I did, you need this. And then I pressed this, and you know, you see user effects. No, it was here. Yeah, it was here. iPad overlay, and yeah, this is how I called it. I called it iPad overlay because I use this pretty often, so I called it this way because I'm going to use it in the future as well. And I pressed it, I selected it, and it was all done beautifully as I wanted. Yay! So I hope that this is useful for you, because I think that videos are important and fun for things like these. And it wasn't, you know, if you find your workflow and you already know how to do it, it doesn't take so much time to do this. And you know, in syncing, you always play with the waveforms. You can see, oh no, you know, here it doesn't work that well as in DaVinci. You can see the waveform a lot better than here, but for example here you can see a little bit, you know, what is where. Yeah. And also when you're syncing the audio, you make sure to zoom in as much as you can, because it's better for you to move it just a little bit, and you know, find the spot where it is exactly. So yeah, so I think that the video is very long now because I'm talking too much, and I hope that it helped you. Let me know if you need to know something more, and if it sucked completely or if it helped you somehow in any way. And see you next time. I am going to make videos like these more often because I found out that people like them and they always learn something new, which is very weird for me because normally I don't feel like I am at the level that somebody could learn anything from me at all. So you know, I'm pretty how do you say that, I forgot the word again. It's also in check. It's hard to believe that somebody could actually learn something from me, but people keep telling that, so I do it. So I hope that it does help you. Have a great day. Bye bye. Waving. This is waving.